During the holidays. Joining us now, Dr. Laura Saunders, psychologist with the Institute of Living. Dr. Saunders, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Erin, Mark.
So inflation really hitting all of us, including Santa. So is now a good time to start managing those expectations with your children, or should you wait until it's a little closer to the holidays?
I think, we always want to take a developmental approach to these kinds of things. And when you have younger kids, I think it is about having conversations and there's so much advertising out there, and that's what hooks young kids in. What I would like for parents to emphasize instead of physical gifts is experiences. So what are some things that you can do as families to have an experience together and start having those conversations in terms of like, what kind of things are they interested in? So you can give, index cards for a special experience to your kids that they cash in on a given weekend, so that you can do alternate things instead of looking at the holidays so much as buying things, but about creating memories, creating traditions, and creating experiences.
Well, kids may, of course, come to you, to the parents, with a really long list for Santa Claus. How do you manage that? Obviously, everybody wants to enjoy the season. You want to hope for the best from Santa, but how do you kind of maybe bring down their expectations a little bit?
Well, if they're good enough and they're old enough to be writing a list, that makes it a little easier. But I would say something like, let's pick up the top 3 things on this list that are the most important to you. Or, what from this list would be a nice surprise if you did get it. So you can get a list of 10 or 15 items, but let's pick out your top 3, or let's pick out something that would be really special for you. So there's ways to kind of manage it without going on and on about like economic times, because kids really don't need that pressure. It's not something that they have any control over. But just trying to change the script a little bit into, let's focus on what's might be most important to you, or how can we create some special memories or special experiences, things that you might want to do as a family. So it's kind of changing the script a little bit.
So you don't want to give them a PowerPoint presentation on inflation? Is that what you're saying, Doctor?
Yes, I would hold back on the whole economic discussion. Honestly, I don't want to hear that either. So it's kind of depressing. So let's focus on experiences and creating memories and setting priorities, as opposed to the whole economic downturn.
Even gifts for adults, giving an experience is such a greater thing to do. Planning a trip, going out to eat, different things like that. What about getting back to the children? They're going to school, they're going to talk about what was under the tree perhaps, and if they're jealous or upset that they feel one of their friends got more gifts, or maybe a more expensive gift, or something they wanted.
So that will always happen, and we all know that social comparison is the thief of joy, and that's something we want to start emphasizing early on. And I would say generic things like, all families are different, and the kinds of gifts and experiences and memories that all families create are a little different, and we're creating special memories for our family. So you're kind of having them refocus on what we're doing as a family, as opposed to saying, again, we can't afford that, or other people have more money than us. I don't know that those discussions are really helpful, but refocusing back on what's most important, and what's most important is that we care about each other and we create memories together.
All right, such good information, Dr. Saunders. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us again this afternoon.